All right. We're out here with Koopy on this beautiful sunny day. And we're going to try to start to work around some more distractions after we get out of the way of this giant truck. Let's see how you are around trucks. Might have to move my camera. Yeah, he's a good boy. Boy. Yeah, I think he thinks you're cute. He thinks you're handsome. Oh, you did very good with that, Koopy. Good job, bud. Well, like I said, we're out here working around distractions, and a nice big truck came by. Let me just make sure my camera is still functioning. There we go. All right. I'll probably just leave that in there, huh, Cooper? You did very good with that. All right, so hopefully my microphone is working. Otherwise, I'll be re-recording my voice over this video. But we are working on about turns and U-turns, and there's a minimal amount of distractions going on. So there's just enough that it might be a little bit of a challenge, but not too much where he's barking or over threshold. So yesterday we introduced getting into heel in the stationary position. So we're going to kind of see if we can get him into, very nice, good. I'm going to see if I can kind of keep him there. Nice, checking in with something, and then I kind of want to help him check back in with me. Good. And oops, I don't want him to leave on his own, so I'm going to use a little bit of food pressure and leash pressure with my no reward marker and get him back into this heel position that we wanted. When we use food, oops, I dropped that. No, thank you. I know I dropped that, but you can't go get it. Good. Okay, I'm gonna let you get it now. All right, perfect. When we use the no reward marker and we use food to get them back into position, remember that we use the food to get them there, but we don't want to feed it to them right away. Very soon, very shortly in this program, we're going to start fading food out as the option that we use, or the pressure that we pair with the no reward marker. I'm going to actually try to use more leash or spatial pressure to fix him when he's incorrect. Just because when we use food to fix them, it can sometimes cause the dog to actually make more mistakes to make the food come back into the picture. So we want to move away from that. So going back to getting him into heel. Nice, he's already kind of, hello, getting sort of getting there with just kind of some leash pressure and some showing him. There we go. Good boy. So I'm going to start adding some motion to this leash exercise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step forward and pair it with the clicker. Good. Perfect. So a lot of times when we introduce heel and we have this stationary exercise, as we take a step forward, the dog stays behind. That's very normal. So what I'm going to do is start pairing me stepping forward with the clicker to help get him to move. So the clicker is going to produce the action of him moving forward. And I'm just pairing, I move forward, you move forward with enough reps to where he starts to do it kind of operantly. Good boy. Heel. Good. All right. So I'm going to take off and I'm going to pair it with the clicker. When we click, that's going to technically release him from the behavior. So we're just going to re-cue him. Heel. Good. Perfect. I'm going to take a step forward and click. Good. And in a couple reps, we should start to see that he begins to move forward before I have a chance to click when I move forward. Good. You can also re-cue him as you take a step forward. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. Heel. Yes, good boy. Now I can kind of click after he does the behavior we're looking for. So this truck's going to go by. It might be a little loud for a second. Shoo. Perfect. So we hopefully that is a good example of classical conditioning versus operant conditioning, which is something we're also going to talk a little bit more about in later on in this program. So we classically conditioned moving forward with the clicker, and then after a couple reps, he started to we've paired that enough times that as I moved forward, he automatically performed the behavior we were classically conditioning. And at that point, it becomes operant behavior. So we're going to do this 1 or 2 more times. Heel. Good. Good. I want to make sure that he doesn't leave that heel position. Good. Heel. So that time I had to use more classical conditioning. As I took some steps forward, I noticed he wasn't quite following me, so I used the clicker to produce the behavior we wanted. So sometimes we switch back and forth between classical and operant conditioning. Heel. Good. Heel. Yes, good. So that time it was operant. I started to move forward. He moved with me. I clicked. And so it's kind of, even though it's almost the same exercise, whether it's classical or operant, we're taking some steps forward and clicking. It's important to know the difference because in that moment, when it's operant, I'm using the clicker to kind of cement that action he was doing. So he's going to remember, ooh, that thing I just did, I'm going to repeat that. Versus thinking of it as using it when we're classically conditioning it, we're just using it to produce the behavior. Ready? Heel. Good boy. Heel. Yes, that looks perfect. Good boy, Cooper. You're so amazing. You're doing so good. And that guy said you were handsome. Oh my goodness. Good job, Coopy Coop.